Hello there everybody and welcome to yet another video about Manorlords. Today your friendly neighborhood turd is going to be talking about the latest Manorlords update on the combat system, and ladies and gentlemen, it is looking quite good, especially considering this is a city building game. If the developer is putting this amount of detail on the combat alone, just imagine the quality of everything else. This is why I'm excited for Manorlords. It's the attention to detail. On the footage you'll now be seeing how the combat is in its current state, and as such let's go point by point, commenting and dissecting every single point. So, first, we got individual equipment and stats. You'll be able to gear up your troops, and each type of gear will have its own stats, and that will be one of the factors deciding the effectiveness of your men. So if you invest heavily into your troops equipment, you might be able to come up on top with a smaller force, and because you'll need peasants to work the fields, mines, fisheries and so on, it may be more effective to equip the little men you can spare with the best gear silver can buy. We have formation dragging. You seem now to be able to set formations on grouped units, very much like in Total War games, but then you can drag and stretch as you want, adding a little bit more freedom to unit movement and placement in an orderly fashion. This is a very welcome feature indeed, since you can now keep a certain formation but be able to stretch or shrink it. The waypoint system. It works like the Three Kingdoms waypoint system, where you hold shift and drag the movement line you want your unit to run. Makes sense? It's much better than giving the AI a couple of points to run and letting it pathfind it by itself. I think this is the way to do waypoints, and I wish all RTS games did it this way. Charges and combat. Charges look really good. What else can I say? I mean, they look believable, not over the top, not too dull, and, you know, kind of realistic. I think they have the right amount of impact and realism in them. The animations look great. The men seem to react to what's going on around them. The melee feels alive despite the units being somewhat small. The combat is, in my opinion, on Total War levels of quality. Sure, the single combat might not look as crisp as Total War's, but it still looks really good. Well done. Height is going to play an important role, as it does affect combat effectiveness, with the unit that has the higher ground having a little bit of an advantage. This is really nice to see. I'm also happy to find loose and tight formations that we are used to seeing in Total War to counter these pesky little archers. We can see various melee stances like shield wall, push and advance, and hold ground. The archers will have the option to do volley shots or just shoot at will. One of the more revolutionary new abilities for units is the tactical retreat. No more will your men just turn their backs at the enemy when you order them to move back a dozen meters. They'll slowly walk backwards, shields up. This is awesome, you know, even amazing. It does look a little bit clunky on the animation side of things, not that much though. Not sure what it is that's wrong, but there's something there that feels a little bit off. Either way, the devs are implementing this, and it's an amazing new addition to the RTS large-scale warfare genre. And of course, in this video we can see that they've added a fatigue system, and that there will be, I'm sure, a UI indicator for a unit's fatigue, and also if you zoom in you can visibly see that the unit is tired. The weather. The developers say in this video that the weather is impactful, and I wonder in which way. Are archers going to do less damage? Heavy troops walk slower in muddy terrain, for example. What exactly does weather is impactful mean? All in all, it's nice to see that there is a weather system and that it will affect the units. But I'm also hoping that it will affect the terrain, and that it will in turn affect the units. This is the contents of the new Manorlords video on combat, and I'm even more excited for the game right now. The combat seems to be a small-scale Total War kind of thing. We have all the features we could expect from a Total War game, like the animations, the fatigue, the waypoint system, the formations, the unit-specific abilities or stances, a weather system, and a morale system that, despite not being shown here, I'm pretty sure that it will be implemented. It's the only thing that's really missing. What really excites me is that the developer goes beyond that and adds other small things that Total War sorely needs, like the tactical retreat, for example, the stances for pushing and gaining ground, even the ability to get archers on volley shots or shooting at will. This is great, and it adds to the tactical choices the player has in battle. Now, I'm wondering here, will the game give the player the ability to set defenses preparing for a battle, like digging trenches, setting up calthrops, or wooden spikes? I kinda googled this last one. It's actually called Cheval de Frise. Les fonfons, oui oui, baguette. What the actual... Anyway, will the player and the AI be able to set these up? Imagine recreating the Battle of Agincourt. It's a rainy day, muddy fields, you set up the wooden spikes, calthrops, the enemy knights are slowed down, you rain arrows on them, the enemy heavy infantry also gets bogged down on the traps and on the mud, you charge in with your lighter infantry and you win the fight. Imagine, this would be great. One thing that I really like is that you won't be recruiting a unit of spearmen, for example, you'll be equipping a certain amount of people with spears and or shields. You can decide what your men will be equipped with, creating your own units, your own personalized units. This will give the player a lot of choice on how to arm and protect their units, and it will create a huge amount of variety in unit stats. I'm looking forward to see this game flourish, and I'm eager to see how the online play will work and if there will be modding tools, because as we all know, it's the online and the modding communities that often keep these games alive and thriving. Anyway, that's enough of Manorlords for today. Hope you found this interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, beware of the olive oil. Be nice to your pet codfish. Remember to order some pastéis de Belém. And I'll see you all on the next video. Portugal, caralho.
I'm in Portugal.